Hey guys, Tomo back again. Today I'm going to be comparing the new Google Pixel 6 to Samsung's cheapest baseline flagship, which is the Galaxy S21. Everyone likes to focus on the best and most expensive phones, but I prefer to focus on the one that is the most value and will fit the need for most people. So for the Google Pixel 6 at $599, it is an awesome price. The Galaxy S21 comes in at $800, which is $200 more. The Google Pixel is definitely 25% cheaper, so keep that in mind when you are deciding between the two. The Pixel 6 have a 6.4 inch Full HD display, and it comes with 90Hz high refresh rate. The Galaxy S21 is a 6.2 inch display at 120Hz high refresh rate. So a slight edge to Samsung here for having the high refresh rate, and the 6.2 inch screen I find it personally a little bit easier to handle. But I think the difference between 90Hz and 120Hz is not that much different for me and most average consumers, but I know the enthusiasts will be able to tell the difference. The Google Pixel 6 is 207 gram versus the 202 for the Galaxy S21, so it is a slightly bigger, thicker, and heavier phone. Both these phones have full HD display, which is more than enough for most average consumers. Samsung is the king of display, so they have Google slightly beat here as well, but it is not that much of a difference. In terms of battery, the Google Pixel 6 win here. The Google Pixel 6 have a 4616 mAh battery, and the Galaxy S21 have a 4000 mAh battery. So for the Pixel 6, I get about 8 hours or so on an average day. I actually was called to jury duty, and I was there from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. practically on my phone the whole day, and the battery was completely drained by then. When I had the Galaxy S21, the battery life isn't as good. I usually get about 6 hours or less, so Google definitely did better on the battery front. Google on paper also offer faster charging. It is a 30-watt fast charger compared to Samsung 25-watt fast charger, but there are reports saying that the Google charging is actually less than 30 watts. It might even come less than the 25-watt offered by Samsung, ironically. But generally, both of these phones charges pretty fast. In a 30-minute charge, you can basically make through half of your day. The only issue at this point is neither of them come with a charging brick anymore, so that's still slightly annoying, especially if you haven't gotten a phone over 2 years. For me personally, I have a whole ton of fast charging bricks everywhere, so it is not the end of the world for me that they are not shipping it anymore. Both these phones do have reverse wireless charging, which I still think is a nice little feature to have, but I personally never really use it. I'm still rocking the original Galaxy Buds, and now I did get the new Galaxy Buds A pre-ordering, and ironically these buds don't even have wireless charging, so I will probably never really use it at this point. But there are headphones out there that does support wireless charging, so it is nice to have. Other than that, I don't think I will ever be in the situation where I would need to wirelessly charge another phone. The new Tensor chip for Google is actually pretty amazing. It utilizes AI and you're able to optimize the phone. It creates a somewhat similar experience to what Apple does in their ecosystem. They pretty much control everything from the software to the hardware. Apple has always had a big advantage for software due to the fact that they do control the whole ecosystem. They're able to push updates out faster, and to this day you're still getting updates for your iPhone 6s at the same exact time as the new iPhone 13 Pro. I found that to be pretty impressive, and Google is hoping to do the same thing here. And Google in the past, they have had Pixel phones, and even before the Pixel they had Nexus, but they have always aimed for the mid-range type of phones. But this time again they are aiming for the top of the line flagship devices, which is pretty exciting. You're gonna notice more Pixel marketing around, and I think it's gonna be a pretty exciting phone as well. And it's coming at a good time since we did lose LG in the market this year, so it's good to have another true competitor in this space. The S21 have the Snapdragon 888, which is the best in the Android market for 2021. Personally, I'm not a fan of benchmark. If you're just looking at it, then Android would always lag behind Apple because their Bionic chips are pretty powerful. Tensor may beat Samsung with the Snapdragon 888 in the GPU while losing in the CPU, but benchmark really only tell about half the story. Snapdragon tend to be faster than the Tensor on a day-to-day basis in theory, but I personally don't really notice the difference on normal uses. Although with the new Tensor chip, they do have some pretty cool features, such as the ability to text to speech, and it is actually pretty accurate. So I can do a quick video demonstration here for you. Hey guys, Tomo, we're back again. Thank you for watching my channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Today I'm testing the new Google Tensor sensor. So far so good. As you can see, just trying to freestyle off top of my head and blabbing random sentences, but it's able to kind of at least, yeah, it does punctuation pretty well, and I think it can definitely replace texting. And I definitely have been trying to use this more. Sometimes when I'm talking to my friends, it's a little bit easier just to press a button and hit send. It may not be 100% accurate, but whatever words that is not accurate, you can just go back and edit it. But just the fact that it is so fast, and it can almost, I don't know, I feel like it's almost predicting my next words or something, and the second I say something, it is pretty much on the screen. And this is quite impressive. Alright, let's go back and see everything I said, if it's all captured on here. Hey guys, I said ton mobile, but that is a pretty specific ton, T-O-N. I wouldn't expect them to get that right. Thank you for watching my channel. You're new here, please like and subscribe. Today I'm testing the new Google Sensor. This when I was blabbing around a little bit. Tensor. So far so good. As you can see here, trying to freestyle off the top of my head and blabbing random sentences, but it's not able. But it's still able to kind of does punctuation pretty well, and I think definitely can replace texting. And I definitely have been trying to use this more. Sometimes when I'm talking with friends, it's a little bit easier to just press a button and send. It may not be 100% accurate, but whatever words that is not accurate, you can go back and edit. But just the fact that it is so fast, and it can almost, oh, there's the part when I was kind of stuttering a little bit and not formulating a cohesive sentence. I don't know, I feel like it almost kind of predicting my next words or something, and the second I say something, it's pretty much on the screen, and it's quite impressive. But yeah, there you have it. Quick demonstration of the Google Tensor chip, the new AI chip that they have. You may notice the random time when I was doing it in real time, there are pauses or stuttering, but it is able to capture everything pretty well. Even if I'm making mistakes or doing run-on sentences, it does an excellent job of correcting it for you, and it even leaves out my random ums while I'm in the middle in speaking, which is pretty cool. Text-to-speech has been around for a while, but this is definitely next level stuff just in terms of punctuation and the ability to kind of use the context in the sentences and almost predict what you're gonna say, and everything is pretty much instant. The moment that you do say it, it does appear on the screen. Some of the other features I do like on this phone is the ability to detect music in the background without you even having to look it up. It is a pretty cool feature. Basically, if you're in the grocery stores or sitting in somebody else's car, you don't have to ask them what song it is. It basically just shows it on your always on display, and it keeps a record of that as well. You can just look into your history, see all the songs that you hear throughout your day, which is pretty nice. There are many times where you kind of hear cool songs and you forget where it is or what it was called. So it is something that just automatically does it for you without you having to think about it. So just another level of AI and the intelligent in terms of how the chip can be incorporated. And I do like that since it is a Google phone, all these Android features are well integrated. Even having the power button on the side that serves as an assistant button is much more useful than the Bixby button on the Galaxy devices that no one really cares about. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. So the next comparison is the RAMs. Basically, they both have 8 gigs of RAM, so it is a draw there. The base model is also 120 gigabytes for both, but you can always upgrade if you're willing to pay more. Cloud storage is a thing these days, so either you pay for Google Photos or whatever else you want to use. That's an option as well if you want more space, but I think 128 is a good starting point. 256 would be nicer, but I'll take 128. not much complaints for me there from both phones. In terms of photo quality, Apple, Google, and Samsung pretty much have the best photos on their phones, so it's all personal preferences in terms of which one you do like the best. I still do think it's pretty amazing that the Pixel have been basically using the same sensor since the Pixel 2, and they finally upgraded to these giant Cyclops visor bar in the back. But props to Google for the new bold design. When you look at the back of the Pixel, you would know it is a Pixel phone, so Google definitely accomplished what they wanted to do there. The S21 have a triple camera setup, a 12 megapixel wide and ultra wide camera, and a 64 megapixel telephoto camera. It does have 30x zoom, but typically it gets a little blurry after about 10x, so it's not really worth it to zoom beyond that. The Pixel 6 have a dual camera, 50 megapixel main camera, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. I personally feel like the Samsung ultra wide feels a little bit wider. It could just be me, but I feel like the Pixel is not as wide as you would think it should be. The Pixel is also missing the telephoto lens, which I am okay with. I don't really use the telephoto lens that much anyways, but the photos in general are pretty comparable. Pixel 6 tends to have a little bit of better integration with Snapchat, and the night photos are great on both. Samsung, you can snap pretty quick photos at night, but if you wanted to use the actual night photo mode, it will take a little bit longer, but I think the Pixel does still take more time overall. The astrophotography mode is pretty cool. You can pretty much stick your phone at the sky. It still takes a little long, but it does get some pretty nice photos if there are stars in the background which you're trying to capture. And the magic eraser, it's kind of a finicky, cool new feature. Samsung actually had this a while as well, called the object eraser. Pretty much you can edit any photo. If there's like someone in the picture that you don't want them to be, you can just circle them and remove them, or an object. Kind of a cool concept though. But both of it, I don't know, don't always work as well as you think it would. I mean, it's a nice little feature to kind of do a quick edit on your phone, but it would require some additional editing just to kind of make sure all the background and everything is blended and matched with the rest of the photo. The Pixel 6 have a 8 megapixel front camera, and the Galaxy S21 have a 10 megapixel frontal camera. Both do have the hole punch camera design as well, which I think look nicer than the iPhone notch. Similar camera quality on both, so I wouldn't get caught up with the megapixel count. Although Samsung does have a slight advantage because they do have the face unlock on their camera. Google Pixel 6 do not have it out of the box. It may come soon. The S21 does have a better fingerprint sensor. They have the ultrasonic sensor, so it is noticeably faster. The Pixel 6 is using a little bit of older tech. I find that the fingerprint sensor work about 50% of the time for me. I do register my thumb multiple times and try to maximize everything there, but it's just not a pleasant experience. So that, along with missing the face unlock, is a little bit of a bummer. But I think once they do add that, it will make your life a little bit easier. I mean, technically it is more secure if you don't use the face unlock on Android, but I prefer for it to be a little bit more convenient. Audio, both of these phones do have stereo speakers. No headphone jack at this point is pretty much common. Although I find that the Pixel 6 is a little bit lower in terms of audio quality. When I had the S21 and on max volume, I never really had an instant where it felt like it wasn't loud enough. For me, I don't often listen to my phone at max volume anyways, but for the Pixel 6, there are some YouTube videos I'm watching when I'm trying to put on max volume and it's still not as high as I think it would be. Once again, I don't know. Could just be a me problem, but at least that's some of the things I noticed when I was using the Pixel 6. Both of these phones are dust and water resistant at this point, so no surprises there. That is pretty much standard across all flagship phones. And at this point, SD card are pretty much gone forever on the high-end phones. Wasn't expecting it on either of these devices. The S21 was a little bit surprising because the previous model, the S20, did have the micro SD, and now Samsung pretty much is going the other way. Google, even dating back to like the Nexus phone and everything like that, they never really had the micro SD card support either. So they're pretty much continuing with the same trend there. Android 12 will be a big update for the Pixel 6. The S21 is still running on Android 11, waiting for the Android 12 update. Pixel will offer 5 years of security update and 4 years of software support. And on Samsung, you still gonna get support for about like 3-ish years or so, but even so, you're gonna get the update a little bit later versus Google. You're gonna get the brand new operating system first, all the latest security updates. You get the true Android experience. It's a little bit cleaner, less bloatware, do not have a lot of duplicated apps. I personally have always enjoyed the Samsung apps though, and all the little software tweaks and TouchWiz, well these days it's called One UI, but I personally enjoy the Samsung software. Although using the Pixel 6 for a short amount of time, I do really like the Material U and Android 12. It's nice looking at the big boxy design, and I had to adapt to the gestures a little bit at first when I been using the last few generation Android phone, such as the Galaxy or the OnePlus. It does come with gestures out of the box. I end up finding myself switching back to the menu, the home button, and that navigation panel instead. But on the Pixel 6, I think I pretty much just adapted to the gestures. For the most part, it is super convenient. The only time that I had issues is if I'm playing some type of games and I'm trying to interact with the corner of the screen. Sometimes I end up hitting the home button or the back button instead. That can be a little frustrating. But overall, Android 12, I really do like it. And just in general, with Pixel phone, you're definitely going to get the faster support and longer support compared to the S21. And design wise, I pretty much hit on this already. The Pixel, you get the visor look versus the S21, you get the wraparound look for the camera hump. I actually think the camera hump on the S21 looked a little bit cooler. At least the purple version, it got like the rose gold wraparound. I just think that's a pretty sleek looking look. Compared to the Pixel 6, it is a little bit of a obnoxious giant bar in the back. I don't know. It's starting to grow on to me, so can't really complain about both. Although one complaint I do have about the bar is it does hold a little bit of dust since it's kind of sticks out a lot. I mean, you can always wipe it off, but it's something that once you notice it, you might not be able to unnotice it. The Pixel 6 actually is made of a little bit better material. It got aluminum in the back compared to the Glastic matte design on the S21, which is technically cheaper, but I feel like it might be more practical. On the Glastic back, you're not going to get any fingerprint in the back. Although ironically, on the Pixel 6, I don't find myself noticing a lot of fingerprint either, so I would prefer the more premium material in this case. The Pixel got the two-tone color design in the back. Depending on which one you have, I do like the different shades on the bottom and the top, just make it stand out a little bit more and even draw more attention to the visor. And finally, always on display. I do like on the S21 you get a little bit more customization with the always on display. I don't find myself doing it that much, but I do like to kind of tinker every now and then. If I want to get like a different look in terms of a different clock style, I can change the color, I can make a GIF, I can pretty much, I don't know, even put my own face on there if I wanted to. But Google Pixel on the other hand, I'm surprised that there isn't as much customization option available. You pretty much either turn it on or off. And I don't know, if you're playing music, the clock kind of moved to the top left hand corner, and if you're not playing any audio or any media, then you just get a giant clock right in the middle of the screen, which I actually really do like. But just a part of me is just slightly disappointed that you lose a little bit of a customization there, especially since Google is all about customizing and tinkering and doing whatever you want with it. And I'm pretty sure there's an app out there that can allow me to change the always on display if I wanted it. But at the same time, if you want to do the customization, where there's a will, there's a way. So that's the beauty of Android. It's always something you can do or tinker with. So my conclusion, it all comes down to what you're looking for in a phone, whether you're looking for something new and exciting from Google with the brand new Android 12 experience, and pretty much experience Android the way that it was tended to be. Compared to Samsung, I know they've been the most popular Android manufacturer, and they pretty much just slapped the skin on top of the original Android. But it's always nice to kind of enjoy like the actual true Android experience that is clean and stock and do not have any type of bloatware on it. Pixel 6 is $200 cheaper than Galaxy S21. And with the S21, you're paying more for the 120Hz refresh rate. You get the extra telephoto camera. I personally think that for $200 less, I would go for the Pixel. I am the biggest Samsung fan you can find, but in terms of getting the most value, I think you're getting a lot for the Pixel 6. This is basically Google's fan edition since Samsung did not release one this year. Keep in mind that the S22 is coming out in about a couple of months, so it would automatically be outdated then. The S20 was shortly discontinued after the S21 was released, so I can see something similar happening again. Alright, there you have it. Let me know which phone you prefer and why. Are you excited about Google and the Tensor chip and the future of other Pixel phone? Or are you more excited about the standard Samsung phone, which is absolutely amazing? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.